the ruling was that Trey Turner interfered basically not basically, he interfered with the first baseman trying to make a play. In fact, I think Gurriel's glove even came off at that point in time. He did run, to the fair side of those 45-foot line, but really the violation was when he kept Gurriel from being able to catch the ball at first base. It's a judgment call on the umpire. Sam Holbrook made the call. It's the right call. Because then you watch, Davey Martinez, and I can relate to that. When you wear a uniform, you see, you know what you want to have happen, basically. And when you're passionate about it, that's what happens. And he was arguing, saying, that the way he saw it, and then he was told by the crew chief, Gary Cederstrom, that because he wanted to protest, and he said you can't protest a judgment call. So he insisted on having them go to the headset. The last thing we tell managers, at least, this is what I tell managers when we have our meeting on the first game of a series, is if you think a rule was misapplied, go and ask the umpires, have the rules checked. They can go to the headset. And Davey basically was asking them to go to just to check on something. And I think he was really aggressive, and the umpires basically went to the headset and presented that Davey wanted to protest, and they said you can't protest a judgment call. The rule, let me read the rule. In running the last half of the distance from home base to first base, while the ball is being fielded to first base, he runs outside to the right of the 3-foot line or inside to the left of the foul line, and in the umpire's judgment, in doing so, interferes with the fielder taking the throw at first base, in which case the ball is dead, except that he may run outside to the right of the 3-foot line or inside to the left of the foul line to avoid a fielder attempting to field the batted ball. So it wasn't that situation. It was a throw to first base, and that's why it was ruled basically an interference. Oh, replay.
So Chelsea is interpreting the rule?
No, they went and told, I basically, it's a World Series. We want to double and triple check ourselves. And that's basically what, they said that Davey wanted to protest. I made the call, it was a judgment call. They said to the umpires, it's a judgment call, and they can't protest.
But who are they calling to get interpretation of that rule? Because we had a long delay there, and
I know, it shouldn't have been that long. I don't know if it was the noise or whatever it was. I know we had a hard line in our box, and we had trouble reaching people because we tried to make some calls, we couldn't do it. It should never be that long. That's unfortunate, and it's certainly, we have to take ownership of that, but it shouldn't have been that long.
And just the last thing, the bang-bang nature of the play at first base, that doesn't, because I would ask, where should Trey Turner go once he has to strike the base? The base is only so big.
If you notice, he was running inside the line toward fair territory, toward the grass, and he was coming from that angle. If he had been running in the 45-foot line, he'd have been coming from a different angle, and the first baseman may have had an easier chance catching the ball. But as you know, as you saw, the glove came off Gurriel's hand, and he wasn't, doing anything but trying to catch the ball. And my view, if he catches the ball, Turner, he's fast, but he hadn't gotten to first base yet.